see if it'll stream. Take a few minutes, I would have thought.
I don't know if my sound comes through your speakers, by the way.
It says we're live in the top. We've got any viewers. Nobody's viewing us yet. What does it take to get through to events? Live now. Hello, everyone. I don't know if anybody could see us yet. Hang on, I'm trying to find out where we're all at. What's going on this evening? We've got one viewer at least. Right. We'll wait till one or two others get through until I find the link where I can see everybody. One watching. That could be just me.
Could be, I'm not watching.
Right. Live events.
I will double check the link from the email.
It says it's still private.
Don't.
Oh, for God's sake.
Let me I'll check the link on eModels. Hang on.
Public. Publish. I can see this is going to be. Events stream out. Right. I'll see if
I'm just having a quick look. You see now. It says the stream is offline.
Yes, it does. Why is it offline?
Is that the right one? That's eModels. YouTube.com/eModels.
Yeah.
Not the right one, is it? I've always got the wrong bloody eModels channel. Hang on.
Why is it gone offline?
Oh, it's showing you live.
Right. Hopefully we'll get somebody now. Mine's still offline.
It's youtube.com/ and it's eModels UK, not eModels. There's two eModels channels.
Maybe that's why. Maybe because it's a hangout, they can't find us.
Yeah, it could be, possibly.
I
did wonder why they had two channels. Also, the link that eModels put in their post takes you to the eModels website.
Yeah.
They put a link to emodels.co.uk/live, which is to just their website. I've just realised now.
Oh, God. Stream out.
Put a link to emodels.co.uk. Oh, here we go. Some people are turning up now.
I can't find where they're at, though.
We've got 5 watching.
Right. Hello, everybody. If you could see me, I can't see you at the moment. I'm trying to find you. I will be with you shortly. Hopefully, can you see the chat there, Fox?
Yeah, TK says we put again, it was the wrong link in the description.
Right.
Well,
obviously, because
we'll have to shout at Pete or Gav for putting the wrong link in the blurb.
Maybe that is the link to the live stream, and it's a different link to the Hangout.
It's actually a link. It's actually a link to emodels.co.uk, which is odd. I've just noticed now.
I'm trying to find where we're at. Right. I think I can see it now. Right. Right. I finally got there. I think I've found you, and I can move that over there. Pop that out. Hi, everybody. Right. I'm going to pop out the chat. Then I can have a chat with you all and say once again, welcome to eModels. This week it's a little bit different to what we normally do, and the screen will be a little bit different to what you're normally used to, because tonight we're doing it in a hangout style. And also with me tonight is a special guest, the guru of all things Gunpla, the man himself is Foxx Wolf. Hi,
Hello.
Foxx, how are you?
I'm all right, Ted. How are you, dude?
Fine, thank you. And we see you've got one or two things on the bench there. What have you been up to this week?
Well, let me just say hello to everybody. Hello, everybody. This week I have been mostly, that sounds like a fast show comedy sketch. I have been I've been cracking on with the knackered old tranny, the knackered old transit. I've started filming episode 2. Episode 1 went live last week on eModels and on my channel yesterday. So far, I have been a bit pressed for time, but I have got everything primed, as you can see here. Primed in the UMP Black primer, which is wonderful stuff.
Yeah, great stuff.
I've got all the sub assemblies done, so I've got like the whole underside and chassis has been made, and it's all lovely. Got me body work and all my bits. I've broken it into little sub assemblies. One thing I have done is, I don't know if this will come out on my webcam, but I have done some, and apologies if it doesn't focus. I don't know if it will focus at all because it's so small. I have done some battered ripped vinyl. You might have seen them. It might not be in focus, so apologies, but there's like little rips in there. I'm covering there. And what I've basically done for that is just basically white PVA glued some normal household cooking tin foil on it, on the seat, glued it down, squished it into place with a cotton bud, and then picked away at the tin foil so it sticks up and it looks like the vinyl's lifted up and ripped, and then just primed over it.
Brilliant.
So, and then Paul Stewart, who's one of my followers and one of eModels' followers, went, and I think it was Paul, went and just did it with a Dremel on his plastic seat and made a much better job of it than me. So thanks, Paul.
There's always somebody out there who can find better things to do. You think you sit around for hours and hours working something out, and then you just click on something and somebody's already done it, and you think, how the hell did they do that?
Well,
right.
I did think about just using a little drill to etch into it, or a knife blade, and I thought that won't look really good. I'll do the foil idea, but it turns out it would have been easier.
Paul's on with us tonight. Is that Paul Stewart?
I think it was Paul Stewart that showed me that.
Yeah, he's holding his hand up and waving, saying, that's me.
Yes, that's right. So I thought it wouldn't look very good, and then Paul said, hey, I did it this way, and I'm like, oh man.
Okay, I did see his pictures. Is it stuck to the sprues, his Facebook page, something like that? And yeah, I saw his. He even had the right colour orange for the foam that pops out of the seat.
He painted that kind of yellow colour, which is what I'm going to do, but his just looks much better than mine. And I'm like, oh man, I overthought things again. I always overthink.
Anyway, thanks for that. What we're going to. Probably a little bit of explaining what we're going to do tonight. As you can see, it's a different sort of camera angle tonight. It's just I can only use one camera on these hangouts, so we're a little bit restricted about what I could show you on a bench. So we may not be able to get round and do a little bit of a demo tonight as we'd normally do, but that gives us a little bit more time to talk about things, for you to send your questions in. And we'll try and answer them. And also, we've got a great giveaway tonight.
Oh, yes.
They're a fantastic giveaway, and it's unfortunate that you lot came along, because if nobody had turned up, me and Foxx would have shared the prize.
Yeah, can I still win, Ted? Because I'm here.
Yeah, I sent you the answer before, but I don't know if you read the email yet. But what we are going to win tonight, and I did have it all technically set up to do a screenshot and things like that, but once again it doesn't work, so I've got it paper. So here is the prize and the giveaway from eModels tonight. It's this. It's the M1A1 A2 Abrams with a complete, see the full interior from Rye Field Models. Fantastic kit. I've looked all around and I've seen some great reviews on this. It comes with full interior. What else does it have? Movable tracks, photo etch. It's got the works, everything, and it's quite an expensive kit. And you can be in with a chance to win that later on. Right, let's see who.
I want to win it. Can I win it?
Do you really do tanks? Do you do tanks? Or I suppose if
it's free, I'll build it. Don't worry about
that. Right, let's see who we've got with us tonight. We've got one or two in already. So we've got starting at the top. We've got Paul Abbey. Hello, Paul. And underneath him is David Hunter, our good friend David, builder of all things shiny and metallic, motorbikes and cars. TK, yeah, TK, the gnome from the Netherlands. Paul Stewart. Hi, Paul. No, we can't see you because your webcam wasn't on. Yeah, that's quite right. I couldn't see anything before. Alan Kelly, yeah, we did finally get here. There was a bit of a technical hitch. And once again, when I turned everything on, I thought my microphone had packed up again. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So I've been out and bought a new microphone. Oak Boys, good evening again to you. Phil East, good evening, Phil. Alan Kelly says, what's with the earpiece? Well, Alan, because I've got Foxx on the other side of the world, when he talks to me, it feeds back through my microphone and gives everybody feedback and echoes and things like that. So stick an earbud in. And,
I don't have an earbud in, but I do have my speakers down quite low, so it doesn't come back through my microphone when you speak. So
yeah,
my headset doesn't reach this far as the desk. So
yeah, I've got this super microphone that even if you bang on the bench, it starts picking it up. In fact, I can't tap my fingers without it.
You broke your microphone. You broke it with violence and everything.
Broke it, yeah. I had to take it back and stamp my feet in the shop, and I want my money back. We'll give you another one. Fortunately, they had one in stock. Because some bought it for a Christmas present and bought it online, but the shop had one in stock, so I got one. Right, let's go down a little bit further. Paul Parker, hi Paul, how's things? Hope you're okay. Bashing Kits, oh, Ant's in, the man himself.
Ooh,
Ant of all things Star Wars, who Ant told me the other day, I said there was an oil set out from, that's what we can talk about tonight, the new release of Starship Filth.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Whilst we were talking, Fox is going to have a lie down in a dark room at the release of Starship Filth. So it was, so Ant educated me in the looks and the identification of a Millennium Falcon. I said it was just a box of oil paints with a spaceship on the front. He said, that's not a spaceship, that's the Millennium Falcon.
Tedward, what are you doing to me?
Right, who else? So Paul Stewart again, David Hunter. I'm going to be painting a white car. I've heard it will look better with a black primer, says David Hunter. I have heard. Have I heard it right? A red primer is good for white.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with white is it's quite a translucent colour, so whatever you paint underneath it, it's going to really tint that white. If you paint black under there, it's going to take a billion coats to get. If it's like a car and it's supposed to be shiny and clean, you're not really going to have any pre-shading. So I'd probably just go with a white or very light grey primer, to be honest.
What a tip of an old boating. One of the, you go down the beach and you find these real old fellas that sort of live to 200 years old and know everything about boats. He was painting his boat white. But before he painted his boat white, he put a pink undercoat on. All he did was a tin of white undercoat, and he just put a drop of red paint in it. And I thought, why have you done that? So I could see where I've been.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. So yeah, I thought, yeah, that works out right. That
he's obviously brained his way through the process and figured it out.
Yeah, so I know I don't miss a bit. You put a pink undercoat on, so that could be the way, David. Just a touch, put a white undercoat on, but just a touch of red, just so that you know that you've got everything. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, because that won't affect the actual white overcoat too much.
No, because I've done that. Actually, I did mention that on my U-boat video, because I'd painted my U-boat in MIG light grey. And what I did with that, I thought that I would originally give it a grey undercoat and then just some light white coats of paint, and the grey undercoat would show through, so it would give it that grubbiness. But this MIG acrylic is fantastic, and it covered it brilliantly. Unfortunately, because I painted it grey, It just needed so many coats to cover the grey. So I think the next time I'll be giving a white undercoat. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is, though, painting white over white is always a nightmare. So the little drop of red is probably a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake of undercoating it, priming in white, and then trying to paint in white and going, oh wait, oh.
Yeah, you try and rely on, because the acrylics dry so fast, you try and rely on the wet bit and the dry bit, and by the time you get from one end of the model to the other, it's dry at the first end and you don't know where you've gone to. So yeah, I think that old guy on the beach was quite right. So maybe, David, just a drop of a coloured paint in your primer and prime it white.
Just a touch, there you go.
Yeah. Right, moving further down, Paul says it's glued to the sprue. That's it, his Facebook page. Joe Cocker. Hi, Joe.
Joe Cocker.
Bashing kits. Ant wants to know the story, Fox, of the jerry cans.
Oh,
jerry cans.
Yeah, Ted and I have this shared knowledge, and it just goes back a little while. But of all the things I've ever made, and I make a lot of kits where you have repetitive parts. The one thing I hate is when you have to build 2 or 12 or 15 or 30 of something. It drives me nuts. It's bad enough building the Gumpler that's got 2 arms and 2 legs, but I was making a what was it I was making? I think it wasn't a 1/35th Tamiya Opel Blitz, but it was something similar, and it came with about 20 jerry cans. And of course, being a Tamiya kit, the jerry cans are 2 halves, left and right, sandwiched together with the little grippy handle on the top, and you had to make 20 of those. And of course, you have to fill the seam on the middle as well, unless it looks like it's got a seam down the middle. Oh, it drove me nuts. It was a nightmare. It took me forever. So whenever I see something now that has a lot of repetitive steps and is going to drive me nuts, I refer to it as jerry cans. So Ted, I've told Ted that before. So whenever I get stressed out, he's like, "Yep, just like jerry cans." Like building like 10 torpedoes, Ted, I think.
Yeah, there was 15 torpedoes, and there was all those links on that Panzer. They took forever to do.
Yeah.
Right. Joe Cocker said he's got a model. He's got one in the stash of the giveaway tonight. It's the Tusk 2, the non-interior one. It looks a fantastic kit. So there you are, folks. Your chance to win the kit later on. That's if we don't forget to do the giveaway.
Yes. Can I ask, by the way, I assume that's not the Joe Cocker.
Yeah, I hope not.
Could be. Never know. Hi, Joe.
Right. Moving further down, Paul Parker. David Hunter making models. Right, Jordan Nash. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Yeah, Joe needs to order a couple of tubes, and that means he's probably talking about Starship Filth. Yes. Going back to that, we heard this week, I think it was over the weekend, people were getting emails if they're subscribing to MIG, that they were releasing some new oil colours, and one of them being the infamous Starship Filth. So that's the price of Fox's stockpile has plummeted overnight.
I know, but everybody can be happy that I don't need to buy any for another few years. So go ahead, buy some, because I'm not going to go out and order all of them all of a sudden.
Yeah,
you might have stock for a while.
Yeah, I think it's by our mentioning it at every given moment that they probably produced it again because they brought it out in the oil brush. I think that's the wrong one. Yeah, I can't find it.
I've got one here somewhere.
Yeah, I've got one here. There it is. Starship Filth oil brusher. I think they probably tried that first to see how that sold, and then they just thought they'd bring it out again. So good on MIG Minis.
I mean, that adds to my confusion as to who owns the Abteilung 502 range in the MiG Productions, because I thought it was all about MiG Jimenez was no longer part of MiG Productions, so they no longer had the name, and that's why they came out with Smoke, which is pretty much the same. But now they've still got it, so I don't know. I don't know who owns Abteilung 502 at all now. I'm like, I don't know. It's just good stuff. That's all I know.
Right. Let's go down the chat a bit more. The chat's really going with us. Alan Kelly said Fox's finger mouse tonight. All you can see is the fingers.
Yes, I can't film me, because if I film me, I'd have like 100 lights behind me, and all you'd see is my wall and the silhouette of my head. So it's impossible for me to film me unless I'm looking at my computer, but then I'm just staring into the camera all night. So I thought
usually when we have our own hangout, it's Fox that's doing the presenting, and I'm busily beavering away, doing things, and looking on sort of in that way as they curse and swear and things like that. But there's none of that on this channel.
No. Plus, I don't have to do any thinking tonight because I'm the guest, so I can just sit here.
It's easy.
I've got something to do to keep me busy if I want to, rather than people just sit looking at my hands all night. So
we should be feeding our guests with tea and cakes and things like that, and looking after them and thanking them for coming along. Right, Joe Cocker says hello, Fox. Paul Parker says he bought some red paint for a motorcycle a lot of years ago, which said to use white primer. Yeah, red paint. I think it's red, white, and yellow are the worst paints to paint anything with, because they just take so long to cover anything with.
Red's a pain because it always comes out really dark and it's hard to get it bright red. If you want in a bright red, if you're painting a Ferrari, if you get the brightest red paint and paint it on most models, it'll come out like a dull red, so you have to really build it up. Yellow often comes out with a greeny tint, and again, to make a really vibrant bright yellow, you have to add some red to the yellow. Just you over red it so that when it goes on your model, even if you use a white primer, if it goes on your model, it still looks yellow rather than orange. It's kind of weird, and white's just a living nightmare.
Yeah, it's a good way of doing what you could probably suggestion would be to do it on the tranny van. Paint one panel in a red primer, a black primer, and another one in a white primer, and spray them red, and you get two different colours. So that's the way to do that.
Yes.
Right.
I may have some different colour panels on that van. I will actually.
Yeah. I don't mean to say that you were going to paint.
I've got a cunning plan for that now, though.
Yeah.
I have a cunning plan.
Yeah. The size of Fox stockpile can grow, says Joe Cocker.
I've got enough now. I've been in it for years, mate. I'm fine.
Those links on the Abrams will give you several jerry can vibes. 8 parts per link and 78 links.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I think I've changed my mind about winning this kit now.
Even you tend to get a bit nervous by that.
Yeah, I don't think I could even rig the question to win it myself. Sergeant Bones, hi again. Thanks for coming back and joining in again. Making models, Carl. I'll be weathering the Kenner snow speeder with the Starship filth.
Yes.
Go out and buy all the Starship filth you can get. Yeah, I don't think there's any restrictions on buying, not like lettuces and was it shortage of lettuces or something, wasn't there, a few weeks ago? Right, Fox makes all the noises to play back from the podcast. Yeah, Fox and his Fox and his feedback. David Hunter.
How is my sound, by the way? Does my sound okay, or am I?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Does everybody else can hear Fox?
Too loud,
okay?
Quiet, or?
Right, Alan Kelly says Zero Paints 2-pack clear coat diamond finish will sort dull paints, bring colours back to life. Now I've seen that, Alan. David Hunter's showed me that. Some of the fantastic work he does is to his vehicles and turning them out and making shine on them. It's just unbelievable how you get that deep showroom shine. That's why I'll never build shiny things.
There is something to be said for people that make model cars, and not a lot of people do this, but surprisingly don't. But there are people that make model cars and motorbikes, and they actually use the same materials that you actually paint a real car with. So, the proper automotive water-based paints, the proper U-pole lacquers, and really you're going to get exactly the same finish on the model as you are on the real car. Yeah. But then it does involve machine polishing or heavily polishing the clear coat lacquer, but it's a proper automotive paint and clear coat. It's absolutely fine. Yeah,
there's some good. Well, I don't think I could just get. I don't think I could concentrate on polishing those finish coats to a high luster. It takes me all my time to clean and shine my own car. Never mind doing model.
Yeah. I used to do that kind of thing for a living, so as little as I can do that now, I'd rather run away from it and not do it.
Yeah. Jordan Nash. Hi, Jordan. He says, discovering both of our channels has made him more eager than ever before to get his own place, to have a real place to construct and customize kits. I take it you mean buy a. Do you mean your own place, Jordan, as in a house, or do you mean your own place as in like a workshop? Because I have this workshop. I'm quite fortunate that I've got half a garage, but Fox is building his under his bed.
Yes. I'm the typical in the bedroom, but I'm lucky enough to have a loft bed, so this is all the free space under my bed, which is great because I can hang like lights and things off the bottom of the bed, which is fine. But I would love to convert our garage into a big man cave workshop, but that's never going to happen.
Yeah, it is a bit of a, especially if it's a separate garage, one of these concrete constructed things, because you need to get. And speaking of that, I need to turn the heating off in here because it's getting a bit noisy. Right, where are we up to? Yeah, Paul Stewart says you need. That's quite right. Paul Stewart says all you need is a table, Jordan, and just get on with it. I think I mentioned that last week. Yeah, don't need anything. I started off on the living room table, the dining table. From that, I moved into a little computer desk in the corner. Then I went upstairs into the spare bedroom. Now I'm here, but you don't need this bit. Humbrol sell a fantastic workstation, and you can sit that on one of these TV tables, the sort of thing where you put your TV dinner on and watch the telly, and brilliant. Folks have built wonders just using them.
Yeah, Tamiya do one as well. They do like a little workstation thing. It's just a plastic square thing with a tiny cutting mat and a row of little recesses for your pots of paint and your brushes and stuff. Similar kind of thing. It's like a little workstation. You can fit it on your kitchen table or wherever you're actually going to work.
So that's all you need. You don't, as long as you can paint and clear, as long as you protect the surface you're working on, because the significant other won't like it when you knock a pot of glue over the dining table or something like that, and you'll get into trouble, and then you'll be thrown out and you'll be told to make your own spot.
Can you imagine Tony trying to work on a kitchen table? He'd have to take
Maybe his kitchen. Maybe he has one of these different coloured kitchen tables. It's just different colours.
Urban camouflage.
Right. I think we'll get on with a couple of questions that we got put through. I've had a couple of came through on emails, messages. Right. Where should we start? Right. This one's from Scruffy Pup, who's in with us tonight, I think. Hi, Scruffy.
Hey, Scruffy.
Could you give practical advice on how to bend the plastic to create both battle damage on his Tiger tank? And also, could you give advice on colours and weathering materials? I think I did see a post about you plan to do a battle damaged Tiger tank. What I would suggest is on your Tiger tank, I don't know what make it was. I don't know if you did mention it, and I haven't wrote it down. But what you usually find is that the things that would most likely get damaged on a tank are the side skirts, and the fenders and things like that. Fenders, that's American, isn't it?
Do you have fenders on the tank?
Do you have fenders on the tank? That sort of thing, anyway. Usually,
the roof rack and the bit that boat goes.
Yeah, the roof rack and the tow bar and things like that. Yeah. You usually find that the plastic will be too thick. So to make them sort of bent and look worn is either thin them down or replace them. You can replace them with some thin sheet metal, some aluminium, something like that, or you could just take your time and file them down. And then to bend them, just use heat, not too much heat. Probably once you've thinned them down, you could actually bend them in boiling water just to get the right sort of shape. It's really difficult to sort of try and explain it without. I would try and do a demonstration, but it'd probably take the whole evening just to do a demonstration on weathering and damaging tanks. But I think I said the other week that the best thing to do is go out and have a look at where things are damaged. And And as for painting and weathering products, multitude of stuff out there. You're going to be looking at battle damage, fires, things like that. Blacks, browns, yellows. Yeah, the matte blacks for fires and things like that. There is a book, if I can find it, if I have it here in the workshop.
While you're searching, I'll throw in my 2 pence if I may. Yeah, exactly what Ted said. When I was much younger and not like 100 years old, and I used to make armor, I was only a kid, but one thing I used to do was get, if I wanted like some kind of like ding, like an impact, so something had hit the piece of armor but it hadn't penetrated it, but it was like a recessed, like a dimple, I used to simply just get a candle, a tea light or a candle, and heat up a screwdriver for a few minutes, and then just gently, carefully press it into the plastic. And if you're lucky, you don't screw it up, you get a nice ding or dent. It's good for kind of making the edge of something as if it's been, like, you've got a panel and you want it to kind of be, it's been pushed up and out of the way. That used to do that. And for things like smoke and things like that, I often find just oil paints are the best for that, just for dry brushing from like smoke and burning effects. Things like, funnily enough, Starship Filth or engine grease. The 502 engine grease is really good, because you can, with an oil paint, you can dry brush it and you can really fade it really nicely, because I like dry brushing with oil paints.
If you get the chance and you have a look around and you can find this book, Adam's Armour, it's a cracking book. It's got loads of information on it in it about painting and weathering tanks. There's two books. This is number 2. There's 1 and 2, and there's a section in the back of here where it actually shows painting and simulating impacts. I don't know if you can pick any of that up in there, but fantastic how it shows you to blend the colours and things like that, just using enamels. And there's also, I did see, I'm not sure if it's in this book, I can't quite find it. You never can when you're looking for it. One of the guys was using actually this gold leaf, cheap gold leaf, and he was I can't find it now. I'll probably be able to explain it better if I could find it. He used a gold leaf, and then he painted the gold leaf, and it looked just like burnt armor.
Cool.
Steel. Now I'll try and find it. I'll keep going through the night, and if I find it, Scruffy, I'll post you a link. Yeah. I'll post you some pictures of it, and it explains in there how to do it.
Just to expand a little tiny bit on that there, I mean, what it was saying there about enamels and me saying about oils, if you're looking at doing any kind of faded dry brushing, things like oils and enamels are the best by far, because they take so long to dry. So if you're looking at doing any kind of dry brushing where you want to really fade from one colour to another, by far the best are oils, but following that up enamels, because again they just take so long to dry that you can really work the paint. It's not going to happen with acrylics unless you're an absolute genius.
Yeah, no, I can't find it, Scruffy, but I'll find it out later on, and I'll send you an email about it. Right.
Good question.
Next question. Hi Ted, says Alex from Bristol. Where will you be or like to be in 5 years' time? Still alive. Where would I like to be? I'm quite happy where I am at the moment. Well, the wife wants to move house, but that's a different matter. I realise you don't want to move it. I'm quite happy where I am. I'm just happy plodding along. I don't want to be rich or famous. I'd just like to continue in the modelling world, building as a hobby. Continue what I do now for e-models as long as I can, as long as they'll have me, because I enjoy it. I enjoy coming along and interacting with the rest of you. So I just want to carry on and do that. Probably have a few more holidays. But other than that, in the model world, yeah, just enjoying it, seeing what comes along, and building things as they come. Every year, every time I go to Telford or we come back from Telford, there's something new out there that I've seen, and I'll just carry on and want to build. So that's that. Right. What about you, Fox? Where would you like to be in 5 years' time?
I'd say much the same. I'd like to be exactly where I am now because I really love doing this. But maybe just with the ability to pay my bills and have some money left over at the end of the month would be the only big difference. Yeah, I mean, I've for those that know me, I spent 30 years having tedious day jobs, and then I decided just to jack it all in and do this as my thing.
I know that you've taken a plunge and you've sort of gone full-time modelling, and hopefully it's working out for you. I don't think I could do modelling full-time because I'd be afraid of it becoming a job, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, it's not really happened that way with me. I don't take commissions, which did kind of really feel like a job, and I didn't enjoy doing those at all, even though I like the money. But doing this is because I'm doing it most days, and because some things take long to do. You still have the caveat of, well, I can't do anything now, everything's drying, so I can just go and do something else for a few hours. So you do get that break. Plus, you can go for a coffee whenever you want, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And the monthly one-to-one meetings are perfect. Brilliant, no problem.
You'll have a review of yourself each month, do you, and write down your hopes, fears, and expectations.
Yeah, my boss sucks, though, I tell you.
Bosses are fine if they weren't there. Right, John Cocker. It wasn't Joe Cocker, it was John Cocker. I didn't read it right. I was thinking. Yeah.
I thought we had a legend on our video podcast thing.
Yeah, I wonder if we ever will get somebody famous that joined in our podcast. Something. Peter Waterman, he's a model builder, isn't he?
Does he count as famous since 1995?
Yeah, ever since Kylie Minogue, yeah, now perhaps he isn't famous. If you're watching, you didn't mean anything. Right, Joe Cocker says the local hobby shop near me finally got some Bandai SW kits, whatever they are.
Star Wars.
Oh, right.
That thing you don't get.
Bandai Star Wars kits. Right.
That thing you don't quite get.
Okay, yeah, I haven't got to grips with that yet.
I don't know. So disappointing, aren't you?
Yeah. One day you've had me build a Gundam. One day I'll build a Star Wars.
Yeah. One day you'll watch Star Wars. Never mind build one.
Right, another one here. I think really going back to the paints what we just spoke about. Eric Griffiths. Hi, I've been watching your live shows, but usually on a day or so after the live show. So hello, happy Wednesday or whenever you're watching, Eric.
Hello.
As a beginner, I only paint with a brush at the moment using Vallejo. Do I need to thin the paint for brush painting? Yeah, you can. The Vallejo paints are pretty good straight out the bottle for painting with. And they go on quite well. Depends what you're wanting to paint, how big an area you want to paint. I have brush painted with them and just thin them ever so thinly. Maybe not as thin as you would for airbrushing, but just a few drops of thinner or water. They mix quite well with water. If you're painting large areas, large brush, thin the paint and put it on in thin coats. But that's about it, really. Yeah, you can thin them out for brush painting, and they go on quite well.
Yeah, the Model Air, the Vallejo Model Air ones are really, really good. You don't often need to thin those. You can thin them a bit. If you're using the game colours, though, they are quite, they're not brilliant for brushing. You might want to thin those a little bit.
Yeah. I find the worst ones for brushing is Tamiya. They don't brush very well at all. Some people have managed it. I never got to grips with it. I find that you put one coat on, come for your second coat, and it's taking the first coat off again. So
yeah, the thing to remember about the Tamiya paints is, although it says acrylic, they're technically lacquers because they're alcohol based. They're not like water based acrylics like some of the Vallejo and the stuff. And
you do need your own. If you are painting with Tamiya, you do need the Tamiya thinners to thin them out.
You can thin them with water, but it's a bit rubbish, so I wouldn't bother. But yeah, no, Tamiya paints are great for airbrushing, absolutely cack for brushing. Unless it's little, the metallics are really, really good to brush with. Other than that,
Oh, right. Here's one for you, Fox.
Hello. Hey, well, I was never there. I deny everything.
Yeah. Have you seen this man? This is from.
I was looking for my life.
Maybe I'll listen to your answer on this one.
Okay.
Tony Cumberbatch. Hi, I see from your Facebook page that Fox is with you tonight. Hello, Fox. I'd like to try my hand at building sci-fi, but don't know where to start. Could I ask what's a good start to get into this area? I normally build modern aircraft.
Okay. Well, first of all, Tony, let me say I love you in Sherlock. I couldn't resist. That was terrible. I do apologise. Depends. It's like any genre of, to me anyway, it's like any genre of model making. With sci-fi, it's you can kind of build anything you want, but I would probably say to start with, because it's such a focused, like you've got armored vehicles, you've got planes, and you've got different types. Like you've got planes, and you've got modern planes, jet planes, World War II plane. You've got different things of sci-fi, as far down as you've just got straight science fiction. You've got kind of alternative future, like German tanks, but if they won the war and it was 100 years from now. There's so many different genres. I would say start off with a subject that actually interests you. If there is a subject, like for example, if you're into Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica or I don't know, something else, if you're into, Japanese anime with lots of mecha and things like that, see if there's kits available on a subject that you already enjoy, because then you'll already have some kind of investment in it. But if not, don't worry. Probably the most widely, well, let me do this a different way. The one thing I would say first off is I probably wouldn't go anywhere near Star Trek, because historically Star Trek kits aren't that great. There's not many around anymore. Most of them are Revell or very old AMT kits, and they're not very good. I would say stick with something that's got a lot of coverage and good kits, like Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica. It's kind of the easy option because in terms of standard sci-fi, they're the two most covered kits. Then you've also got your Japanese stuff, like you've got your Gunpla and your Gundam and all those kind of things. If you're into anime and you like anime sci-fi, there's a billion kits available on that kind of subject, mostly from Bandai. If you're more standard sci-fi, Star Wars and your things like Battlestar Galactica. Star Wars is the most prominent one, so you're probably fine going with that. And it depends on your modelling skill level, where you are with your skill. If you're really proficient, you know what you're doing, or if you're a beginner. Now, it's not often I say this, but I would point you in the direction of Revell. I know it's me saying Revell. However, if you've not been doing models long, and you say you're into planes more, if you're just a beginner, then there's no reason not to start off with some of Revell's own in-house Star Wars kits. They're cheap and cheerful. They're really basic, but they're good ways to practice your painting and weathering and to get it to look like you want it to look like in that particular sci-fi genre. The other reason you could do that as well and look at the Revell side is because there's two types. There's the cheapy cheerful ones, which are like their snap fit or their easy fit and their basic kits. They also have the Master Series Star Wars kits, which are basically fine molds kits that models have raved over for years, relabeled as Revell. So they're incredible kits. If you're a really proficient modeler and you know your beans, you could go for some of their Master Series like the TIE Fighter X-Wing or the Millennium Falcon. The Falcon is the fine mold one. It's 300 quid. It's got 8 trillion parts and it's beautifully detailed. The X-Wing and the TIE Fighter are the 148 scale, I think. They're beautiful kits. Revell haven't manufactured, and they just literally rebox it from the fine molds one. So if you're proficient, have a go at those. Revell also do some Battlestar Galactica kits as well, like the Vipers, Cylon Raiders, and the Galactica itself, and other ones which are really, really nice. So yeah, I'd say stick with what you know, or go to a field you know. And if you're not keen particularly on any one particular type of sci-fi, just start at the obvious end and start with your Star Wars and your Galactica, just because there's so many kits available, and from dirt cheap to stupidly expensive, you're kind of covered. That's it, really.
I didn't realise that sci-fi was so big. As you said, it's not just Star Wars. It's everything. It's Star Trek. Everything's out there. Somebody mentioned here, Jordan. think just running the chat back a little bit. Somebody was on about the. Oh, I can't find it now. Where has it gone? Yeah, Alan Kelly said, "Don't do a 3 foot by 1 foot zombie diorama like him with 30 zombies and buildings." So that's another area of it. Yeah,
and there's tons. If you look at my stash at the minute, it is all sci-fi. And it's basically got a load of Gunpla, obviously. You've got a space battleship Yamato, which is sci-fi. You've got a TIE fighter and a Y-wing, which is sci-fi, and I've got this thing I'm on is a Warhammer vehicle. I've no interest in tabletop gaming, but some of the little kits that Warhammer do are really quite nice, and they're sci-fi. So
yeah, I've seen some of those Warhammer stuff. It's brilliant. If you want to, I think you could use the Warhammer as a transgression, especially if you're doing armor vehicles to get into sci-fi. You can do it as a transgression because you can do some of the armored vehicles from the Warhammer and then move into sci-fi. Yeah.
Yes, I mean they're not. Don't one thing to bear in mind is Warhammer stuff isn't cheap. So some of the smaller kits are, but yeah, they've got tanks, they've got aircraft, they've got. And what am I doing? I'm doing this thing, which is like a speeder thing. It's like a little speeder thing. It's all sci-fi, so yeah, give it a try. The sci-fi is one of those fields that, as well, that I often find with a lot of genres of model making. If you build a tank or a plane that's in real life, you will get people that will say, "Oh my god, that's not the right color," or "You've not done this right," or "This isn't accurate." When it comes to sci-fi, you can let your imagination go crazy because it's all made up anyway. So you can make it look like the studio miniature. You can make it look whatever you want. So it's a good genre. It's fun. It's silly, and there's a billion kits out there available. Not just Star Wars and Star Trek, but avoid the Star Trek because they're usually pretty bad.
Brilliant. Phil East says the Bandai Star Wars kits are great results straight out of the box. So have a go. Try it, as Fox says. There's lots of cheapy kits out there to just sort of dip your toe in and have a look. So
it's always good to go with something you know. So like if you're a particular Star Wars geek or a Star Trek nerd or whatever, see if you can find some kits for that, because it's always good to have an investment in the kit to start with.
Yeah,
I could make a fighter plane, but I've got no interest in them, so I'd probably do a bad job because I'd be like, it's boring. I don't want to make this. But give me a sci-fi kit, I'm in.
Yeah, I would think at the moment sci-fi kits are being produced selling as fast as they can produce them, because Rogue One, everybody will want to build Star Wars stuff now.
Ted, have you just quoted something to do with Star Wars?
I did. I googled it first.
Oh, did yeah, I thought you might have done. And just so you know, that entire last question that I answered it, the question came in and it was like, yeah, that's one for you, Fox, because I won't know anything about it.
Right. I think I'll have run out of my questions after this one. This is from Elmo. I'm not sure where Elmo's from. Hi, Ted. I'm building the 1/72 scale Spitfire from Airfix and find a gap between the wings that need filling. It's a common problem. Can you advise on a suitable filler that won't hide any detail? Once again, it depends how big the gap is.
So this is why I don't do planes, because of things like that.
I'm thinking if it's in 1/72 scale, it won't be that big a gap.
No, probably not.
So I'm thinking just the bog standard. If you're into the Humbrol fillers or the Squadron putty. I haven't got anything around at the moment, but just your basic standard off-the-shelf fillers will do it. And then just use a small file, a needle file, or some folded up fine paper just to sand it down.
I will admit openly that I suck at and hate filling seams. And there's only two methods I can do, and one is just using glue to squish it and then sand it back. But that's not always ideal because you're sanding a big area. Or then if I'm not using glue, I'll use, and I can't find it. Where is it? There is it. I usually use, it's over there. I've got some Milliput, which is a two-pot epoxy putty. It's a brown and a green. One looks like poop, one looks like a tube of green. And you mix them together in equal amounts and it sets, and then it's very messy, and I'm not very good at it.
What I find is good with that milliput is that you can put it on. You can actually apply it underwater,
Yes.
but you can use a wet finger just to smooth it, and it's brilliant. I've built all sorts of that. I've gone through buckets full of that stuff. It's brilliant, but yeah, it's a bit messy, and for small seams, probably a little bit too much. So, as some people in chat now is mentioning Revel Plastimo. But as TK says, he says Revel Plastimo can eat your plastic if you use too much. Yeah, like all the fillers, just use it sparingly. Put it on with a cocktail stick. Fine.
Depending on where the seam is, and this is a trick I'd never thought of until I started building Gunpla, and it's a trick I learned from Gunpla Builders, which is literally just to, if you've got two pieces, I don't know if I show on the camera, if you've got two pieces and you've got to glue them together like that, and say you had a seam line here, let's pretend they were both the same piece, and you had a seam line there, you'd literally get them almost together, get some Tamiya extra thin glue in there, squish them together. After a couple of seconds, the glue will bubble out, gives you a little bead of plasticky glue along the join, let it dry for 24 hours, go back and sand it back, and you basically fill the gap with the plastic fabric kit because the glue melts the plastic. And then if you get in a little pits, you can just fill it in with the thicker glue and sand that back. That can be quite an easy way to do it, and I tend to do that because I'm lazy and terrible at filling with putty, but it does require a bit of sanding, so depends on what you're actually trying to fill.
Another quick tip, if you're sort of out of filler or it's quite a big gap, is thick super glue and talcum powder.
Oh yes.
Just fill your gap with super glue, dust it with talcum powder, goes off, and then you can file it. It's pretty hard stuff to file, but it does work.
That's the one downside to making a glue that forms a super hard surface, is it's kind of hard to file it down.
Yeah,
that's brilliant for resin kits as well. If you can't put any structural things in like brass or anything like that, you can use super glue with talcum powder. It will make a concrete like glue. Just make sure you get everything set in the right place, otherwise you're never getting it apart again.
Yeah, that's all my questions. We'll just save the giveaway question for a little bit later. Has any questions come through for you, Fox, or anything like that? I'm just watching the chat, and everybody's chatting amongst themselves at the moment, and
let me load up my Facebook page because I put a thing up earlier on. The first question I got was from my mum, and she said, if you could make any kit at all, any kit in the world, doesn't matter how big it is, how long it would take, how much it cost, it's irrelevant. Any kit at all, what would you want? If you could be gifted a kit, what would you want? What would your dream kit be?
Right, I would think, although I have been offered the chance to build it, I would think the Dora.
Yeah, I joke about that often.
The 135 railgun Dora, it is huge. And this submarine is huge, but this is even bigger. I turned it down because I just haven't anywhere to build it. But if I did build it, I would like to build it in a diorama setting with some sort of ancillary trucks around and about, or sort of feeding it with shells and things like that. And yeah, just to build that one. That would be, I think that's the world's biggest plastic model.
Is that the one? I think last time me and you went to E-Models, isn't that one that's on the shelf behind the counter that takes up the entire shelf? On the
yeah. We said to the lad in the shop, "Where's Dora?" That's it down there. And it was huge.
That's it down there filling that entire.
Yeah, Alan Kelly says it's 5 foot long. Yeah, I've seen the barrel and it stands up here somewhere. But the only thing about it, it's grey, and that's all it is. Grey.
It's grey all over, isn't it?
Yeah.
But unless you do all sci-fi on it and make it all kind of funky colours, but yeah, you'll probably get the rivet counters complaining about that.
I can never say that word. Apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic or apoplectic? Both apply.
Yeah, but it'd be about. What about you? Have you got thoughts on that?
I don't know, because I was trying to think about this, because obviously my mum asked me the question, so I'm like, okay, well I can think about that now in advance, and I'm not really sure. I mean,
maybe she's asking you what you want for Christmas.
No, better less something expensive than that. I don't know. I mean, there's a few kits that I really want to try. There is and most people won't know what this is, but the Bandai HG Neo Xeon, which is about 4 feet tall. It's a Gunpla, but it's massive. It's dead simple. But but I was looking. I don't know actually. I mean, I was looking. There's a few sort of Warhammer kits that look quite interesting, but in terms of an absolute dream kit, I should probably be honest and say my studio scale D'Agostini Millennium Falcon, because boy, I'm never going to get to build that at this rate.
Is that the one you've got in the cupboard?
Yeah, in bits, because it's bigger than my workspace. So my absolute dream kit would be to actually get a chance to build that. I think a lot of my followers would also say yes, they'd love for me to build that one as well. So I think I would say that is probably it. It's just a big, massive Millennium Falcon now, because I love building the Millennium Falcon. So
with lights.
It comes with lights, thankfully, because I don't do elastic trickery. I just blow myself up. But yeah, that would be my dream. And whether I ever get to build it, that's the thing, because I haven't got space to even just to build. You can see how big my workbench is. It's like 5 times the size of this. So yeah.
Yeah, once you convert the garage, maybe you can make a start on it then.
Yeah, we'll keep working on that one.
John Cocker said he'd like to do a 135 steel Gundam from G System.
Yes, there's a chap on my Facebook page, Daryl D, who's building one, and it's about 4.5, 5 feet tall, and it's all resin. You'll know, like a master grade Gundam's like about this tall. But that same size, but in 135 scale, is about 4.5, 5 feet tall. And yeah, they're all resin, so that's an instant no for me. But yeah, they are quite impressive.
Right. I suppose it's only a matter of time before the Japanese bring out a life-size one.
They have. It's still outside the shop in Odaiba in Japan.
Right. So somebody can actually go in.
It moves its head and stuff. They're taking it down soon, but that's their 1-to-1 scale RX-78-2 Gundam. There is a 1/12 scale mobile suit Gundam kit you can buy for about £5,000. Dead simple. It's for shop displays, but I'd like one of those. That'd be cool.
Carl says, if you ever find a Serenity kit, let me know. I need one. Serenity kit?
That's another sci-fi one you won't know.
No. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to sit you down with a little links to sci-fi things you need to watch, aren't I?
Yeah. I think I need a poster behind me. This is a sci-fi free zone.
Yeah, or just a poster with all the different franchises listed. What are people saying in the comments about their dream kits?
Right. Jordan Nash says he'd like to do a 1/72 scale full interior Firefly.
Yeah, that's another sci-fi one you won't know.
I was thinking it was a model aircraft.
It could be, actually. I could be completely overguessing it.
Paul Parker said James May made a 1-to-1 Spitfire. Yeah, I've been to that's at what's that place? Cosford. I've been to Cosford, seen that there.
Who knew there was a World War II pilot that looked just like James May with his eyes shut?
Yeah,
that was great. That was a great series. That.
Yeah, I saw that. He does some pretty good stuff where he takes things. He's done some recently where he's been taking things apart. Alan Kelly says, what foreign language is Foxx speaking? So it's Mancunian.
Foreign on many levels, mostly stuff.
Ron Mack says his dream kit is the 1350 TOS Enterprise.
The original series Enterprise. Okay, yeah.
The original. Oh, right. I was thinking the Battleship Enterprise, US Navy. Never mind.
Yeah, you'd know that one. Even you know original series Star Trek.
Yeah, I must admit I do know that one.
I have to agree only in that I would go for the same thing, but only the Enterprise A, the refit version, because that's much better.
Yeah. Right. No, after Captain Kirk, it's all beyond me. Anyway, it's time, I think, now for the giveaway.
Yes.
Ooh, the giveaway. And Foxx is not allowed to answer. But anybody else that is in chat is. And, right, are you ready for this? So it's fastest fingers usually. It's usually fastest fingers because who can ever Google it? Or if you know the answer, you can answer it. Or if you just want to have a guess, you could just guess. Right, the question. The answer is, what is the question? Here's the answer. What's the question? The question is, the M1A1 main battle tank has protective skirts on each side of the tank. In total, how many skirts are used to protect the tank? That's in total, how many skirts are used to protect the side of the M1A1?
Cool.
And
I need to do the countdown music.
yeah, and go. Yeah. Who's the first one to the answer on my screen? Remember, when you press the button on your screen, it might not necessarily come up first on my screen. Somebody might beat you to it. So there's the answers going in. Jordan Nash, first one on my screen with the right answer, is the winner. The answer is 14. It's the M1A1, 14 skirts in total, although some are actually left off, I understand, for maintenance for the rear drive sprockets. So Jordan Nash, if you email me at ted@emodels.co.uk, email me with your details and I'll pass them on. Well done, everybody. There was a couple of good guesses there.
Yeah, congratulations to Jordan, winner.
Yeah, all we ask is that when you receive the model is that you post us a picture of yourself with it. So well done, Jordan.
42 skirts. I like that one.
Chris Starr says 42 is the answer for everything. Oh, that's somebody of our age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitchhiker's Guide reference there. We like that.
Yeah, it's sometimes worth a guess now. Yeah, it's sometimes worth a guess, or whoever can Google the answer first. But congratulations. Right. Any more questions there, Fox?
Yeah, I think I've got another one.
I'm doing quite well tonight.
Let's have a look. I had another one you won't know. Another one you won't know. I put a thing up on my page saying, "Hey, give us some questions, but don't do Gunpla because obviously we don't."
Oh, right. The winner.
Ask me all the sci-fi questions. So
just as a note, there, Jordan Nash asks, "Could I let you know that it's Jordan from your Patreon?"
Oh, hello, Jordan. Kick out. Oh, hello. Yes, I know exactly who that is. Well done. Congratulations.
So we can have some.
Being a patron. We
can have some pictures of him building this tank on your Patreon site as well. Then.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Phil East does ask one. He says, "I'm thinking of trying my hand at some modern armor models. What kit manufacturers would you both suggest I start with? I'm looking for info about quality of kits and value for money." Now it's a long time since I did armor, but I was always a Tamiya guy, so I would always say Tamiya are really good. But
I think Tamiya all the way.
Yeah.
Tamiya, there are one or two other up and coming kits now, but it's just finding them on the shelves.
Yeah, I mean, since I last made an armor kit, obviously you've got newer companies like TACOM and Dragon. Is it Dragon?
Dragon.
Things like that. All of the little stock, by the way, and who are very good. Tamiya's been very slow getting onto the photo etch brass parts bandwagon. So that's only one knock about Tamiya is they don't often, or they do more now, but a lot of their older kits don't have anything like photo etch brass in them, which is a bit of a shame when you see them in, Trumpeter and Meng and TACOM kits, and they've got all the photo etch brass for your grills, and it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's masses out there. Certainly. I think a good starter point would be Tamiya, and then move on to some of the other stuff with photo etch and things like that. On the converse, on the other side of Tamiya, I think some of them have become a little bit dated now. One type of tank built by Tamiya is different to what am I talking about? AFV Club.
Quite old, so now so.
Yeah, I think Tamiya sort of produced some good stuff, then they've stopped and they haven't produced anything else. They haven't sort of developed it. But there's lots more out there, and people are coming up on the chat here with Meng, Trumpeter, Ryfield, this excellent kit, Ryfield models. AFV Club, brilliant. There's lots out there. Just have a look on the eModels website and see what takes your fancy, and then dip into Google and do some reviews on the kit. Have a look at some of the reviews on the kits. They're brilliant. There's lots of stuff out there.
I mean, when I did Drebin's Striker, I used the Trumpeter Striker kit. I did that video for E-Models, and that was that was the first armored vehicle I'd done in probably 20 years, and that was really nice. And that had scary photo etch, which I'd not done before, and it was a really nice kit. It was a really, really well engineered kit, and I was building it thinking to myself, this is as good as a Tamiya kit as I remember Tamiya kits. So yeah, there's a lot of choice out there now. It's like the sci-fi thing. It's more a case of have a look through on the site and just wait till you see a particular vehicle that makes you go, oh yeah, that's sweet, and then get that one.
Yeah, that's it. Most of the models, almost as soon as a model comes out, there'll be somebody on the internet somewhere who will do a review on it, so you can find out about it straight away. And
that's the first thing I do with any kit, is to go online and see what the people think about it. And if they all say, yeah, it's terrible kit, I don't buy it.
You know, Alan Kelly says check the reviews on E-Models. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
And if you see this kit contains photo etch, don't let it put you off.
No,
because it's easy. It's not a black art. It's just easy to do.
Yeah. The first time I did it, I was dead nervous, and then I didn't. I was like, actually, that was really cool.
Yeah. Paul Parker says it works on Matchbox. Yeah, Matchbox models. Remember them?
God, Matchbox. Wow. Back when I was a lad. It was great.
Yeah, but there's some fantastic stuff out there. Just check the E-Model website and have a look at something that takes your fancy. Yeah, you'll click on a picture and you think, whoa, yeah, that's it, that's the one, and that's usually the best way. If as you said earlier, Fox, that if you enjoy building it, you'll do a better job of it.
Yeah, but as a rule of thumb, I'd say stick to the big guns, which are like your Tamiya, Tacom, Trumpeter. Then you can be assured of a good quality kit for your first experience, at least. There are some other brands I probably wouldn't recommend, but we won't do that here. So
yeah, but don't be put off. And do it. If you make a mistake on your first one, you know that the mistakes that you made in that one, and you can do a better one next time. So keep going.
All learning. It's all about learning.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've run out of my questions. Have you any more? We haven't had any.
I had one from our winner Jordan, who actually asked.
Right.
Actually said, will E-Models ever sell Gunpla?
Right.
I don't know, maybe. I've spoken to him before about stocking Gunpla. But it's not really down to E-Models. Actually, Bandai are quite strict as to who can sell their models. Gunpla don't have any restrictions on where you can sell them, like Star Wars kits, because they've licensing issues. But Bandai are... they're quite, not picky is the word, but it's a very strange company. If you know how Bandai works, for example, if you want to communicate with Bandai, you send them a fax. Welcome to Japan. So they have a strange way of operating. So who knows? Maybe one day. I think it would be cool, because then I could get, I'd have a place to get my Gunpla from. But selling Gunpla in the UK is always a sticky, sort of difficult subject, because historically, Bandai haven't put a lot of effort into selling outside of America or the Asian territories. So who knows? Maybe one day. But it'll be down to Bandai to make that happen.
Maybe one day, if Peter from E-Models joins us in a hangout, you can ask him.
Yeah. Hopefully one day. I'll keep needling him. I do needle him every now and then.
Yeah.
I talked to Peter about it for about 45 minutes once, and I don't think he really knew what I was talking about, because most people don't want to talk about Gunpla.
It's finding some space on all them shelves to put it.
Yeah.
It's got a warehouse full of stuff. TK says, what's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one more question. This is a question I'm going to put towards the chat, actually, because you won't know it, Ted, and Adam Wakeling asks, who would win in a dogfight between Poe Dameron from Star Wars Rogue One, that one you mentioned, in his X-Wing, versus Kara Starbuck Thrace from Battlestar Galactica in the Mark II Viper, with reasons, please? I would say I think Starbuck would win, because she's more of a badass than Poe Dameron. That's my reason. But what does the chat think? Kara Thrace, Starbuck in a Viper versus Poe Dameron in his pretty black X-Wing. Who would win? Who would whoop whose backside?
The votes are coming in for Starbuck.
Yep.
She kick. Alan Kelly says Starbuck. She kicks butt. It's just a female. It's just a female.
Yeah.
Oh, I better go and have a look.
Yeah. So I mean, my logic is basically, if you get a bloke who's who's a badass, then he's just a badass. But if you get a woman who's a badass, she's twice as much of a badass. So.
Well, yeah, I must have a look now because Alan Kelly says she's hot.
Oh yeah.
So I think Starbuck texts that one. Joe Cockers chat is way ahead of the audio over here. Yeah, TK's got some lag. I think it's just all that water between here and the Netherlands. Making models. Carl says the X-wing should be a more maneuverable ship.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It's a good point. But the Viper's smaller and maybe more nimble as a result. Plus, if you watch the TV series, the Vipers have cameras all over the sides because that's how you see the fights. So it'd look more interesting from the point of view of the Viper.
Gun cameras.
Gun cameras, oh yeah. I think Starbuck.
Maybe one day I will get into have a look at a Star Wars model when I've got room on the bench.
Yes.
Right. Right. God, we've gone on for nearly an hour and a half now, apart from 10 minutes where we weren't live at all. We were just talking to nobody. Right. I think that's about it. I can round up.
Okay.
And I can get on with publishing the video part 2 of the U-boat build. Here it is, folks. The torpedo tube. The torpedo room is built, is complete. It's a little bit dark in there as you can't see everything. And the video is made. And once I finish it tonight, after this live stream is all over, yeah, I'll get to you in a moment, Jordan. I'll let you know that email in a moment. Once this evening's live chat is over, I will get on and edit it, and the video hopefully will be posted to YouTube, part 2 of the U-boat build, the huge U-boat, in the next couple of days.
Got to tell you, Ted, that does look absolutely outstanding. It looks like just a weapon of some sort, like some kind of sidearm.
Star Wars, yeah, good. Yeah.
Some kind of blast. It looks incredible.
It's good. It's a pity you can't. The cameras don't do it justice. You can't, especially when you look through there.
Yeah, you did post up some photographs there, didn't you? Of pretending to be a camera, somebody in the passageway taking a photograph, and that looked fantastic. Yeah,
it took a lot of work. There's even just one compartment. There's a massive amount of work going on in there, and I've just the rest. I think I've 5 of the compartments to build now. Yeah. So we can get marching on with those. But yeah, after this, I'll get on and do some editing and carry on and get the video posted, hopefully for everybody to see. Right, so that's about it. Jordan, you can send your email to, I would post it, but I can't, ted@emodels.co.uk, or just send it to emodels. But ted@emodels.co.uk, and that goes for anybody else. If you want to send me or anybody else questions, just send them in on that email at any time, and we'll have a look at your question and do our best to answer it. If not, if we don't know the answer, we can make it up.
Yay!
Right, so I would like to thank my good pal Foxx Wolf, model making guru, for coming along this evening and whittling away while we have a chat.
Yes, nice to chat to everybody. Nice to be on your little stream here, Ted. I quite enjoyed that. I like being able to do this and not have to actually think while doing it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Control of all the things.
It makes it easier to bounce things off people rather than just have to whittle on and bore people to death like I usually do. Alan Kelly, is eModels online tonight? I would probably think they've gone home by now, but you can email them with any requests you've got, and yeah, they'll probably send you a sticker out if you ask for one. Yeah. And take a picture of your model with the eModel sticker on and send it into their Facebook page. I don't
think Peter actually sleeps, because I've had emails from him at like 11:30 at night.
So. Yeah, that's when I get most of my correspondence. Ted, have you thought what you're doing about this?
I send them out like, here's the latest episode. It's brilliant, thanks very much. Oh, it's actually 2 a.m. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think that man has a bed in the back of the shop, so there'll be somebody around. Anyway, thank you to everybody that's joined us tonight, and well done, Paul, on winning that tank. I'll get your details and I'll fire them across to eModels, and we'll get that model off to you as soon as possible. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all again next week. What we're going to do next week, I haven't a clue.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's always the best way, I think, because if you plan it, nothing ever goes to plan. Jordan won. Yeah. Jordan won. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to press the stop button now, and thank you for joining us. But bye from me and Fox. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Go make something cool.
Keep working. Bye now.
I'm doing a